So there's more information out there about Redfall, and I want to talk about it because maybe I was wrong about this game. So let's go ahead and talk about it. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Guide here, coming at you for another video. You guys know that I'm a huge fan of arcade games. I've played the Dishonored games. I actually reviewed Deathloop. Really enjoyed that game. So when I saw Redfall and I saw more of a leaning towards co-op experience, I was kind of disappointed by it, because I'm not saying that I didn't want to play that type of game by Arcane. I just felt like I wanted to play maybe a Dishonored or, a Deathloop 2, something that I personally felt like gives the player the aspects that Arcane really does. They do AI really well, they do worlds really well, they do gameplay really well, and I couldn't really tell you why I was looking at Redfall and didn't think that it could do the things that Dishonored and Deathloop and Prey did. But as I see more info on this game, I realized that, look, this is a co-op experience game, and I still think that they're kind of, trying to act like it's a more of a solo game than co-op game, but that's for a different argument. I don't know what they kind of expect, but there are a couple things that Arcane has shown in this IGN article where they talk a little bit more in depth about some of the features that's in the game, and I want to go over a few of them and really give my experience. And as an arcade fan, is this something that I'm looking forward to? The first thing I want to talk about is, if you look in the trailer, apparently there's psychic nests, and they're replayable if you miss something in them, like collectibles. All these requirements or completions, they're actually optional. So it kind of reminds me of, you're going to go somewhere, it's going to be off the map, so they're going to be able to do things that they wouldn't normally be able to do because they're not held down to a reality type of thing. Kind of look at it something like The Evil Within. They're able to broaden the way they design the game because it wasn't in the realms of reality. It was pretty much fictional at that point, which, this game's fictional, it's got vampires in general, but that really opens it up to a little bit more different types of gameplay. So I'm really excited to see exactly what these nests are. Now look, I will say that when it comes to this type of game, I'm still a little bit defensive. I got to see a little bit more, but I will say what they showed in this interview is very much appreciated. One thing I like that he brought up in here is he brought up talking about loot. And how you guys have Destiny, you have, The Division, you have a lot of these loot-based type games. And when it comes to the drops, it's always a matter of how they're going to do the drops. Is it going to kill people? They're going to drop guns. He did kind of seem like when you kill certain enemies, you will get the faction guns to it. But when you kill other enemies, such as vampires, they're clearly not going to have weapons like that. They're going to have different stuff because they come at you with their hands more than anything else, or their fangs. So let me read to you exactly what he said. He said, "We put a lot of thought into that. Most of ours are environment storytelling scenes where you come up on the scene and you might see a body on the street, and then you look up at the roof and there's a blood streak. It's like this guy was dragged down the roof and dropped. So if you make your way up to that roof, you'll find he was hiding up there before someone caught up him and threw him off the roof. Therefore, there's a beer bottle and a sleeping bag and some stuff up there, and you loot it." So it actually kind of gives me more of a Fortnite, kind of a little bit more advanced than a Fortnite, because you guys know you land on a rooftop, there's just a chest there, you loot it, something pops up. It doesn't technically make sense, but looks like they put a little bit more story in terms of how they're doing this storytelling. The loot typically appears appropriate to the faction, like I said. If you stake a vampire and dig through the ashes, you might find a remnant or something of that effect. A psychically amused magic item, basically. The soldiers will have more likelihood of a military gear. If you pick a trunk and open it, it have a civilian shotgun, which that's pretty cool. I do think that, I hope that some of the trunks do have unique stuff in them, because you don't exactly know who was driving that car. Maybe it wasn't a civilian, maybe it was someone of importance that had some crazy gear in the trunk. If you lockpick a trunk, it might have some civilian shotgun in it, but as often as possible, we want to make them environmental storytelling. That really shows me that they are focusing on not necessarily how this game's going to play, but what are you going to feel playing this game. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of dead bodies in this game. You're going to see a lot of telling a story without really saying too much words. And I think that this company can do that. I think that it's easy to find this. What's interesting too is how they're talking about the ammo rarity, if there's going to be scarce ammo in the game. And it kind of pretty much is like, look, like, we wanted to open up to as many people as possible. I will say that a lot of the Dishonored and Deathloop games didn't really have, kind of limitations on ammo for the most part. Now, Dishonored did to a point, but I think that was mainly designed to be a stealth game. It wasn't really designed to be a shoot 'em up game. Now, you can play it as a shoot 'em up game, but it was mainly designed to go towards the stealth type of launches, the stealth type of gameplay. And I think we can all agree on that when it comes to Dishonored. Now, look, would I wish for a Dishonored 3 or a Deathloop 2? Yes. I think we might easily get that. I don't think that's still out of the ordinary. I think there's a good chance that we still get those titles. I do encourage developers to get to, it's that creative freedom. A lot of developers have creative itches. They want to make sure that they're making the game they want to make. And if you keep developers happy, if you keep people being able to really express their creative freedom with games like, Bleeding Edge, this game, I don't know if this is technically a passion project. I would assume it is. It doesn't seem a little bit like their other projects. Like, this is pretty much one of the only single player co-op games that they're ever going to have. I'm curious how this game's going to do. It's a loot shooter, it's co-op, it's made by Microsoft. It's probably going to have that gameplay that we love from Arcane. I think it's a good mixture. It's just depending on how they do it, what kind of supplies they're going to put into this game, kind of resources they're going to put into, and how much support they're realistically going to give to it. I felt like Bleeding Edge was a lot of possibilities. It had good foundations, but I don't feel like Microsoft really capitalized on what they could have did with that game. And that's sad, because I felt like it was a fun game, and with a little bit more backing, it could have done a lot more. Something kind of like Grounded. Grounded really picked up an audience, and they put a lot more funding behind it. But definitely put it in the comment section below. Do you guys think Redfall is going to do anything? I'm kind of curious to hear you guys' opinion. When I first saw Redfall, I was disappointed it wasn't Dishonored 3, or it wasn't any games that I generally like from this, mainly Dishonored. But I think after seeing the more information that comes out about Redfall, it actually hypes me up for this game, and I'm looking forward to it. Definitely going to try it. Keep in mind it is in Game Pass. Like I said, put in the comment section below. Are you guys excited about Redfall? Curious to read your guys' comments. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.